time, when I wake up in the morning, I just stretch my hand and pick up my phone. I go to YouTube, I go to Instagram. Most of the time, the first page that comes up when I open my Instagram is Tunde Ednot's page.
Mhm.
And every time it's like it's bad news about Nigeria. Something bad has happened in Nigeria. And I feel like it's my daily dose of making myself miserable. Because every morning I know that this is what is going to happen. I'm going to open this page and it's going to. In fact, in one of the news, in the comment section, somebody said, in Nigeria, you need connection to get good news.
My God.
So it got me wondering. Like, I'm not saying that a lot of things are not bad in Nigeria, a lot of things are bad. But why does bad news sell so much?
Mm.
Why are we so interested in consuming bad news compared, like, if you open a newspaper now or a news channel and the only thing you report is good news, all the good things that happen in the, do you think people would be interested in that? That's what I
It's
was
very
thinking.
intriguing.
But I feel this is not like it shouldn't be a negotiation as to why are we always uploading bad news because good things don't happen. It's yes, good things hardly happen in Nigeria. It's always bad things. So it's not Tunde's fault.
I
It's not the
mean, there are
reality.
young. Okay, there are
No,
young
but
Except
people.
even
except
outside Nigeria, bad news
yeah,
sells.
yeah, except we are just going to be reporting maybe in individual families, maybe someone gave birth, maybe it's good news. But if it's like
Yeah.
in Nigeria, in the Nigerian space, it's
Because I
kidnapping.
wanted to say that, oh, these
Happening.
young lads that went to the Olympics and Nigeria took a lot of gold, but Nigerian government never sponsored them. So it's bad news.
So even when
Even the good
something
news I
good,
wanted
even
to
when
do
something good
influencer, there is
happen,
good news.
if you look by the side, there's bad news
No,
standing by the
e-
side.
exactly, exactly. Because what you see every day is like bandits abduct 10 in Oyo. The kind of things that happen. Unfortunately, a flood has killed 6 in this place. Every day, there was
There's
a
another
time.
form of good news that is saddening. In Edo, they did a flyover that is useless, and they're taking school children, and a lot of said, is this the good news?
Good
Like,
things
how
don't
is it
happen.
good news if Ned not reports it? Oh, there's
Yeah,
a
good
flyover in
things
Edo.
don't happen.
Is it supposed to be a good news? The children are okay. Like, this is not even supposed to be funny. God.
Nah,
My God,
no,
my
in
God.
Nigeria, there is no good news. That's the truth. We
I'm
don't have
trying,
good
like,
news.
it is so bad that I'm trying to sieve my head and remember
So
all the good news I've heard this week.
hold
I'm
on,
trying.
hold
Okay,
on,
Nigeria is doing well.
hold on,
Nigeria is number one in the stock market.
hold
Yeah.
on. Let me ask a question. Like, if a small village that didn't have electricity gets electricity in Nigeria, shouldn't that be make the news and be a
It's
good
Of
news?
course.
it's not good news, Prince.
It
That
shouldn't
is
make
not
the
good
Yeah.
news.
news. No,
It's
for
sad.
Sorry,
if
why
a
is it
small
not good
village
news?
in Nigeria gets electricity and we try
In
to
the
push it
first
as good
century.
news, we should be ashamed of ourselves in
Yeah.
2026 for pushing
Yeah.
such narrative as good news. Because what
Yeah.
the government should get for doing that is shame on you for doing this in the first time.
Yeah.
You,
Yeah.
you get it
Yeah.
because for
Because
me,
there is,
if
yeah.
we try to see every single thing that the government does as they've done us a favor, then we fail to realize that they are not even doing anything.
You see the people that was abducted for a time. So there is propaganda, and you guys know I believe in the propaganda more because of what I saw in the consistency of the release of those people.
Propaganda you believe in.
And yeah, I believe in the propaganda. This is my view, not SSRG. Of course, you understand that. So they were released, and it should be good news. But then it suddenly made me feel sad because I saw the propaganda clearly, and even them singing and praising the chief commander of armed forces of Nigeria for rescuing them after how many months? After how many months in the bush in the country? In the country, and they were. I don't need to talk about the propaganda, but that should be good news. But it's sad to me. So I understand what Emmanuel is saying. It's bad news for me.
There, I saw today with this news that you are talking about. So some people were questioning why were their clothes clean. after they were released. And there's some people said that when they started smelling, the bandits took their
They had to
clothes
Wash
and
their
wash
washed it.
clothes.
So
their
because
base.
somebody else said, so were you all naked when they took your, or did they give you people spare clothes? Like, like you start questioning
So
things.
many inconsistency. The person coming out for gubernatorial election in Oyo or Lagos gave the woman a car, the principal. Is it supposed to be good news or bad news? So how do you categorize good news and
Okay,
bad news in
the
Nigeria?
question is that car. Why did she get? What did she do to deserve a
Exactly. So
car?
it's bad news for me. There was no reason, like
Like
maybe
what?
celebrating
What
her freedom.
laws did you follow to give as a politician to give this woman a car if it's
A
not
car.
just for
She was
attention?
posing with the car key in her recovery bed.
Okay, so even if we try to take away, like for example, Prince asks if a small village that never had electricity finally gets it, should that be good news or bad news? Okay, let's say that is good news. Yeah, because even though it's in 2026, it's still something positive. But the biggest question is, what is the ratio of good to bad news per year in Nigeria?
Don't do a year.
199
Do
bad
a
news
week.
and one good news.
Do a week. Because a year the numbers are going to be too much.
Yeah.
Because we are very large.
So,
And
but
I bet
but
like
let's take this conversation away from Nigeria, because
mhm,
even if you follow CNN, Fox News, NBC, ABC, and the rest of them,
yeah.
most of the time, I would say also like about 90 to 95% of the reporting is how the world is going to shit, how climate change is. I know these things are valid, don't get me wrong, they are really, really valid.
Mm-hmm.
But why do why is it rare for any mainstream media to report any good news? Does it mean that
Is
even
it
in the world that good things don't happen anymore?
yeah. Is it because I always say that the media would always track what people engage with, right?
Hmm, hmm.
So these are companies that need to make money. These are like Tunde, I know that you mentioned is an influencer. I don't know what else he does apart from maybe he will have jobs, but like he's known for promoting people and all online. So he
I do
has
like him,
his
by the
influence.
way.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't have a problem with him. I don't also follow him. So the whole thing he does is also part of why he's known, right? So he needs to report things that get his audience engaged. So
Hmm.
is it going to be about human psychology? Is it that we are more endeared to something that is not in quotes normal? Because maybe electricity is even,
Probably.
yeah. Is it about human psychology? And I've not
Is it that we
considered that.
evolved to pay more attention to bad
Tension.
news because we need to survive, we need safety? That's
I, I, I,
Yeah.
I think the climate we live in right now is filled with so much negativity, and like, so the bad news comes from the being too negatively charged. But I also think that, personally, for example, if you have good things, you probably would not share those good things because you don't want hate coming back
It
on you.
makes you comfortable or something.
you
Like,
don't
you
want
just,
evil eye.
you don't want evil eyes looking at
This is
you.
me.
So I think that's why the bad news flies more than the good news. Like, the world is so
So and
negatively
also and
charged.
also based on what Fidel talked about, I feel yeah somehow it has to do with psychology because take for instance, if you just defended your PhD dissertation, it's maybe not up to half of the persons on your WhatsApp contact would like to repost it. Maybe some people will just hit like or something. But once you drop dead, once you die, even people who never, I don't know how to describe this. The whole world is going to try to, post like RIP or something like this. So I feel like,
And make all the reasons why her death was painful. She died in her ripe age or something.
Look at
yeah,
when look at when
and
look at when
yeah,
Alex Kubo passed,
yeah.
and
Died.
social media was just, meanwhile, when this guy was alive, they were saying all manner of trash about him and all whatnot.
Yeah.
And then suddenly he dies, and the whole news. Oh,
I
condolences.
particularly think that maybe those people saying the good things, we're not part of those that say the trash, but they know the truth. For example, for example, you wouldn't even see me anywhere talking, engaging men, because as a personal opinion, there are some people I do not engage. It makes me really so angry, like with the whole situation of the girl we talked about and the rape. Yeah, I don't talk or engage. You wouldn't see me agreeing or saying no, Alex did not do that. I mean, I don't know Alex. I feel like it is not okay to start accusing somebody if you don't have your facts. But you will not see me defending and saying, I know he did not do that. So people can just congratulate, like, just know things and not say it. But immediately the bad one, women, I think it's about human beings being emotional beings, and the level of pain or maybe grief or excitement that comes with each news. So pain is not what is constant, but maybe finding bits of joy here and there is constant. I don't know what this
I
theory I'm making, but it's reflecting in my own life and how I behave towards these things. That's what I'm saying. It's a personal statement now. So because pain is once, and also we need to survive. So, for example, we had heat wave where I'm staying. Last week, last 2 weeks, we had heat wave, and I was so on the news. I was reading. I was trying to understand what I never pay attention to the weather that much like I did. And of course, they will get their traffic. I think it's because I really need to survive. That is why bad news interests me. What plane is crashing and why I should not enter that plane. So good news makes me comfortable. But bad news, I really need to understand what I should avoid, what I should not do, and all that. So I'm indebted to reading it and clicking it because I'm also guilty. I will click it and read. I don't know whether the engagement of the Olympiad, like the educare that took the young guys to Olympiad, I didn't even finish reading the whole expository because I am not that
It's not going to save
like,
your life.
yeah, I'm not chance. But the Oyo case, kidnapping, I know the nitty gritty. And
Okay.
is it still going? So I think, yeah.
This leads me to my next question. Do you think our overconsumption of bad news is making us more cynical, more anxious, and more pessimistic about the world in general?
Yes, is the answer for me personally. Personally, I have given up. I am a fan of death, and I'm like, okay, I just like that's how I survive these days. That's how I survive the country I'm from. That's how I survive my academic life. I'm in academia. That's how I survive everything. Like I'm like, well, I could just die and it ends. And so, and I think that now gives me optimism. You could think it's pessimism, but no, in my case, it makes me happy. Like, I'm just okay. Anytime I die, that ends it. So I'll just keep struggling. So, yes, I think this consumption makes me at the edge. Like, and I'm like, what is going to happen again? Even when I don't pay attention to it. But this is revealing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think consuming those bad news, beyond being anxious, also, I think sometimes it makes you angry. Like,
It
and you
ruins your
want,
day.
it ruins your, like, you just get so angry. And sometimes you just want to revolt at any system that is causing that bad news to
That.
happen. And you're like, damn. But yeah, and I must also say that social media is also not helping matters, but helping it in a good way to make those bad news fly in a more globalized way. Because before the news could actually reach you, like you need to make
Mm-hmm.
extra effort. But now from the click from the
Now
and
the news,
that's where
the news they jump on your face.
that's
You
and
don't
that's
look
where
for it.
and that's
The
where it's
algorithm
bad.
doesn't listen to your preferences again.
And
It
that's
doesn't.
where it becomes bad because, like you said, you just wake up in the morning, you're still in bed, and the first thing you do, Instagram, and the first thing you're seeing, bad news. Your day is ruined from the very get-go, which is bad in itself.
And
Yeah.
imagine people
Imagine you want to
deciding,
say something because I
yeah.
No, continue, Fidel, please.
Imagine people deciding to say, how I do this is I'm not trying to listen to these things again. It got that bad that people are trying to avoid even knowing what is happening to preserve their mental health. Because we should know what is happening, but the way it is being pushed and the way it is too much is now clouding every single good news that you can even see. And
This
Yeah.
it's worrisome.
this what you're saying now is what I wanted to ask about in my next question. Because I remember when I first, not when I first, like some years ago, my Instagram was filled with comedians. They were like every time I scroll on Instagram, it's one joke to another, one joke to another. Comedians filled my Instagram. But I noticed slowly over time, it started changing. It started changing.
Mhm.
It started changing. And now I feel like 80% of the content on my Instagram is how the world is full of shit.
Yeah.
So, do you also, what do you have to say about how the algorithms, it's like, because we think we are the ones controlling the algorithm, but I feel like somehow the algorithm is training us and making us susceptible to listen to some, like be in this echo chamber that
Yeah.
is surround. So, yeah, this.
I have I have a theory. I have taken my time to study, and whether Meta likes it or not, because I use only Meta. Unfortunately, I don't know why one person should have that much of social media. It is problematic. I rarely use Twitter. I don't use TikTok. I rarely use it. So I think they also, like, for example, I'm about to graduate, yes, and I watch a lot of graduation transition and all, and it comes. And I think what they do is, if you watch this, then you will like this. So, because somebody would think, okay, the reason why I have this, all this is because I'm clicking it or I'm watching it. No, because my algorithm sometimes is even messed up, and I also say I don't like this creator. They have that's whatever, which does not work, because so many times I've said I don't like this creator, I don't want to see this creator, right? Because I don't need to block them. You are not following somebody, you are not, I'm not following the person. I don't watch their content. Why are they on my FYP? Why are they on my time? Why are they ever on my timeline? And I click I don't like this creator, and I see it some other time. I have done this severally, and it worries me, right? Because there are people I don't want to see ever. And I keep seeing them because I watch something related to what they are doing. Do you get? So if, for example, like if you're an Afrocentric scholar and maybe you watch something about colonialism, they will now piece it together and say, because you like this, maybe you will like this, and maybe you like this, and then push all of that content that you did not subscribe to and you did not even watch to you, and you find yourself seeing yourself in a midst of what you don't understand. So that's what I think.
Yeah, and not just that. Another angle to it is that it's not just Instagram, for example. The Facebook will also track you on Instagram to show you something similar. So the kind of things you've seen on Facebook will emerge from nowhere on your
Meta
Instagram,
is
your
Meta now.
Twitter,
He's joined
because yeah.
everything. Is
So
now even WhatsApp.
yeah, but I feel that we still have some control over this thing. This is what I do, and it works for me because I've realized that, just like you say, if I click some sneakers advert, for example, by tomorrow I'm going to see a lot of sneakers from different sneakers sellers online. So what I
Mm.
do is that sometimes I purposely go search for comedians, just click some of their videos, and by tomorrow, I will be seeing comedy on my feed. That is how it has, because I want to run away from. I turned off all the notifications I set from news agents in Nigeria, like Punch News and all those ones. I turned them off because what keeps popping on my laptop every day is tragedy. You know,
Tragedy.
25 lose their lives, 10 abducted, and all those things. Like, sometimes I just realize that I am completely angry, like angry for no reason. And it was threatening to affect my interpersonal life. Because I feel like not talking to someone who has done absolutely nothing to me because of the anger from what I've seen. So what I do personally is I go and search purposely for those things that give me joy,
Is that
and
not too
watch
much work?
I
and
just
watch them. And tomorrow I see more of them. Even though it doesn't continue, before you know, the other
Mm-hmm.
ones come back. But
Comes up.
somehow, It's a way to do it.
While
Yeah.
while I was listening to Emma and he mentioned Punch News, Vanguard, and on the rest of them in Nigeria, it made me think, and so now this conversation is making me think if we, or personally for me, I've been having this argument of Punch News, Vanguard, Sunrise, whatever their name is, the
Mhm.
dailies, they do not give us news that are important, and the news that are important for us in Nigeria are the actual bad news. Like for example, when things are happening in government, when there is embezzlement in government, when there is killing, when there is kidnapping, the Punch News would leave those things and begin to talk about, oh, this person, Fadambaka gets married, or just as an example, Fadambaka.
Example,
No,
something that
an
I wonder why your
example.
head thought that example.
Why? There
That
are so
was
much that want
like
to enter my head. But the
Yeah,
point I'm
yeah,
making, or
we
Fadambaka
understand.
opened a new yogurt company
factory.
factory, right?
Mm.
So that's the more reasonable example. And at that point, those times, I'm trying to think of one typical example they gave, and I would remember then I would say, why are these people dwelling on something that is less important? But now I'm thinking about it, I'm like, maybe it's them trying to douse down the too much bad news going on out there. Do you get my point? So I think what we are essentially saying is,
But somehow, I don't think it's really dousing it down. It's intentionally trying to
It's
underreport the things,
intentionally. It's
to underreport the
propaganda.
things that happen. Because sometimes, if, for example, you remember there was a time there was a massacre in a church. I can't remember where exactly. I remember
Owo.
clearly that
Owo.
at least two of these news agents underreported the number of persons that were killed in that attack. Why are they
Mhm.
doing that? To protect the image of the government, so it doesn't seem like a big thing. But even if it's one person, it is a big thing.
Yeah, I think also, Emmanuel, I think I read in media, it's ethical in media to underreport terrorism. I don't know, prove me wrong if you're watching this video. So they make the country safe for the citizens by underreporting numbers. So you
Okay.
don't get scared and cause chaos in, like, it was such a shocking revelation for me,
I
but
mean,
Mm, I
I mean,
never
they
knew
don't
though.
report. I don't think they can actually get the factual number, but like those things are just estimates. It might be over, it might be under, but
under,
usually
yeah.
they err on the side of underreporting, especially if it is a bad case.
We
Interesting.
know, we
Can I?
know that there is, okay, one thing, sir. Well, one thing, friends. We know that there was a time the only news agency that we really, really trust in Nigeria that is owned by a lawyer. I don't want to call names, like you guys know the lawyer. That we trust them to an extent to
Is
at
there
least discuss.
arise news?
Yes, I think maybe we are doing some ethical something and not calling. Oh, we can't punch. Okay, Arise News. And there was a time they were reporting an incident and they were attacked on live. Like the notoriety, they were so notorious that they didn't even bother that these people were still reporting this. And so these dailies are sponsored, like it's corruption that eats deep into everything. And so there are some things you cannot report if you want to still be with this government that is ruling. So if whatever you are reporting is making the government look underperforming or bad, you are an enemy. And enemies of the government do not survive, in quotes, in a country like Nigeria. Do not survive in that way unless you are rugged like Arise News and other news agency that try to do the right thing. And that's why most people don't even pay. It's sad. Most people don't pay attention to the dailies again. They go to social media for actual footages, actual recordings, and all. And yeah, it's so sad.
Thank you. Thank you, Fidel. Thank you, everyone. I'm interested in what the audience think. Write in the comment section what's your
Yeah.
experience with the news. Do you think it's depressing? How does it make you feel? And what do you think we can do to, still be able to report factual news and uh, protect our mental health? Thank you for listening. Please remember to like and subscribe.
Yeah. Bye.